Château Haut Lafitte is one of the iconic properties of the Pessac-Léognan district. It's about 15 or 20 minutes drive south of the city of Bordeaux, and it's famous for not only their red wines but also their white wines. It's owned by Florence and Daniel Catillard, outsiders who moved from Paris to Bordeaux, bought the estate and totally renovated the vineyards and also the cellars. And today, no question, it's one of the very, very best properties here. They do things a little bit differently. For a start, they make their own barrels, which is very rare. There's only about 3 properties in all of Bordeaux who employ full-time a cooper, as they call a tonnelier here, who actually puts and assembles the barrels together himself. And the winemaker told me that they go out into some of the forests in the center of France and he actually tastes, smells and licks the wood to see whether it merits being brought here for drying for 3 years outside before they assemble the barrels. Anyway, the white wine, Sémillon Sauvignon Blanc blend, has been named in the top 100 wines of the world. It's got an ageability of at least 10 to 15 years, if not longer, in great vintages. And the red is made from a combination of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, a little bit of Petit Verdot in the classic Bordeaux style. They have Michel Rolland consulting, and this inevitably creates a wine that is very nice and rich and powerful and round, not too tannic. One of my personal favorites, definitely in the area. And again, has tremendous longevity. In the cellar, they've got wines dating back 50, 60 years. Château Haut Lafitte is everything you could ever dream of at a French chateau. It's a gorgeous estate, steeped in history, with a labyrinth of underground cellars stacked full of barrels. The winemaking is on the one hand very traditional, with their own barrels actually made on site and the use of old oak vats for fermentation. It's also utilizing state-of-the-art technology, something that Daniel Catillard spares no expense on. The wines are, of course, as a result, spectacular, and the boutique hotel is my favorite place to stay in Bordeaux. There's a Michelin-starred restaurant, a world-renowned spa, and all of this peace and tranquility is just 15 or 20 minutes from the city center of Bordeaux. It's called Les Sauces de Caudalie, and their specialty is putting people in grape baths. And apparently with all of the antioxidants in the grape skins, it actually helps turn back time. It's not working so well for me, but maybe try again tomorrow. We're here in one of the parcels or blocks of old Merlot vines at Haut Lafitte, and you see these fairly big, thick trunks. That's always a sign of an older vine. And the Merlot grapes here, well, one thing to note is that they're very well exposed to the sun. In California, you'll often see a lot of leaf shading or canopy shading of the berries, and that's because typically it's so hot that they want to actually protect them from the sun. Whereas here, the climate is a little bit more marginal, and so they come through the vineyard and they actually pull off the leaves, right, and expose the fruit, allowing more sunshine onto the berries, and that helps with the ripening and the development, so they get good maturity at harvest. Another reason why they actually pull off the leaves and expose the fruit is because it can be pretty humid here, right? And in fact, mildews are quite a big problem. And so if they pull off the leaves, you get better air circulation within the canopy, and that minimizes the risk of mildew. Another pretty amazing thing that they do here at Haut Lafitte in terms of canopy management is they actually strip a lot of the leaves on the eastern side of the vine, right? Because the sun rises in the east, and so you want to expose those grapes to the maximum amount of sunshine, but they'll leave quite a lot of leaf coverage on the western side because the afternoon sun can really hammer the grapes, and so they want to give them a little bit more shade. It's hugely labor intensive to do all this. Another thing here, we see this old vine here. I mean, there's only half a dozen clusters grape bunches on the vine. I mean, this vine is actually capable of producing a lot, but they'll come through and cut them off, right? You can see down here on the ground, they've cut off some bunches. And what that does is it lets the vine power all of its resources into the remaining bunches. And that means that these will be full of flavor, very concentrated and absolutely delicious. Daniel Catillard, the owner, is also a man who loves tradition. And right now, he's in the midst of building 3 huge sailing ships. And instead of having his wine delivered by air freight, he's now actually going to have it delivered on his own ships that are going to sail around the world with Haut Lafitte on board. Of course, good for the environment, minimizes your carbon footprint, but the gentle movement on the high seas, well, of course, that's also good for the wine too.